You sound like a Nazi.
I mean, why do you say that?
That's literally what Nazis would have said in World War II. They would have literally articulated their hatred of Jewish people and the reasons why in exactly the way you've just done.
I don't have a hatred for Jewish people.
You do?
I don't like a religion that says that they're better than other people. And what's that?
Well, you do. You obviously do. It's blatant.
They always assume they have the high ground until someone refuses to play by their rules. What you are about to watch isn't an interview. It is a live-fire demolition of the corporate media's most heavily guarded narrative. Piers Morgan thought he was setting a trap. He thought he could use his signature moral posturing to publicly execute a playboy and score points with the establishment. Instead, he walked right into a buzzsaw. Dan Bilzerian, a man with everything to lose and every reason to stay quiet to protect his access to the elite, decided to burn the bridge. Watch the exact moment Piers Morgan's entire rhetorical strategy collapses. When Bilzerian refuses to back down from calling out the industrial-scale hypocrisy of foreign influence, state-funded violence, and the weaponization of the term supremacy, Piers hits the panic button. He reaches for the only tool the corporate press has left, the Nazi label. This is what happens when someone decides that truth is worth more than their social standing. If you are tired of the sanitized, state-approved talking points that excuse the elite while silencing dissent, you are in the right place. This is Floor Leader Insider. We don't let them pivot. Please hit that subscribe button before we dive into this one, guys. It really helps for the growth of this special community. Let's look at the tape, and I'll be giving my unfiltered thoughts about this exchange at the end of the clip.
Right, do you accept, Dan, that you are just blatantly anti-Semitic?
Look, I have an issue with that term. I mean, I think the real Semites are the Palestinians. I mean, the DNA tests that they've done on the Israelis that are living over there, they're Eastern European Ashkenazi Jews. I don't even think they're actual Semites. They don't have ancient Hebrew DNA, which is why DNA testing is illegal in Israel.
I mean, you're literally denying their existence now. I mean, you are just a brazen anti-Semite, aren't you? You hate Jewish people, you hate Israel, you hate the state of Israel, its government, everything about it. You're blaming them you blame them in this interview for literally absolutely everything.
When you say, well, I think most of the problems today is caused by Jewish supremacy. I believe that.
I'm honestly gobsmacked that you would say all this publicly, given what a high profile you have.
Yeah, I mean, it is not a it's not a popular opinion for somebody that cares about money and cares about not being canceled. I mean, that's the problem, is you can say whatever you want against Muslims. You can be super anti-Muslim. You can talk about them and nobody cares. But if you say anything about Jewish people, you get canceled. They, look what they did to Kanye. I mean, so why are they such a protected class? Let me ask you that.
I don't think they are. I think they're a class that get targeted by people like you, and indeed by Kanye, who spewed horrible anti-Semitic nonsense. But yours seems to me to be more insidious, because you're literally blaming.
So you think that Kanye targeted them and not the other way around?
You're literally blaming Jewish people for almost everything that's happened that you don't like in the world. That is the purest personification of anti-Semitism right there. That's what it is.
Well, when you have a religion that promotes supremacy, when you have a religion that says that you are better than other people, and when you have a religion that says it's okay to steal from other people as long as they're not Jewish, when you have a religion that says it's okay to rape people that aren't Jewish, when you have a religion that talks about having sex with, kids that are under 3 years old, when you have a religion that promotes these things and promotes supremacy, I think you're going to have problems. And you see that in Israel. Israel is a manifestation of that religion. And I think that religion is, it's terrible. I don't believe in white supremacy. I don't believe in Jewish supremacy. I don't believe in supremacy at all. And right now, I think you have massive Jewish supremacy.
You sound like a Nazi.
I mean, why do you say that?
That's literally what Nazis would have said in World War II. They would have literally articulated their hatred of Jewish people and the reasons why in exactly the way you've just done.
I don't have a hatred for Jewish people.
You do?
I don't like a religion that says that they're better than other people. And what's that?
Well, you do. You obviously do. It's blatant. No one watching this will draw any other conclusion. I'm staggered about how brazen you've been.
Well, Yeah, I mean, I don't like it when people think they're better than other people. And you see that in Israel, and they're acting like that, and they're treating Palestinians like second-class citizens. They're treating them like subhuman beasts, and it sells that in their Talmud. So it says if you are not a Jew, that you are basically subhuman. And I don't think that Judaism and Christianity go hand in hand. I mean, they believe that Jesus is in hell burning in human shit, and they believe the Virgin Mary is a whore. So I don't think those are two religions that really intersect very well. But we've been programmed that they do, and we've been programmed that it's okay and that Jews are the chosen people, and I just disagree with that. I think everybody's equal.
Do you even comprehend how this interview is going to play out when it airs?
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be bad. But, my opinion is not politically correct, but I believe that is the truth.
You're living in Qatar now.
Well, that's where I'm at right now. I'm not living here, but visiting.
Right. Is it the case that you feel safer to spew this kind of stuff from Qatar than you would spewing it in the United States?
Well, I mean, I've had a lot of Jewish people attack me since I started standing up in support of Palestine. When I started saying things that were against Israel, I found that I had my Jewish business manager tried to extort me. I had lawyers do things that were illegal, and I found a lot of just hatred from the Jewish community because I was speaking out against a genocide, and that really opened my eyes to what's going on.
You know why Jewish people?
Like I said, rarely is it the case that people on the right side of history are the ones that are trying to silence people.
Yeah, the reason Jewish people may dislike you is because of your obvious hatred for them and everything they stand for. I mean, you've literally spent the last 20 minutes on an anti-Semitic rant that makes Kanye look like a choir boy. I'm staggered, but also bemused as to what you think you'll gain from this, other than you're just laying bare your anti-Semitism for everyone to see.
I don't think I'm going to gain anything. I think it'll be horrible for me, but it's what I believe. I don't think that Jews like Christians, and you see it when they killed them during the Holodomor, the Bolshevik genocide. I mean, the Bolsheviks, the leadership was 84% Jewish, and they were just mass killing Christians, and nobody talks about that.
Let me just ask you one more time. Let me just ask you one more time to be honest.
History books don't cover that.
Right, let me just ask you one more time, just for clarity. I think you should be honest. But do you hate Jewish people?
No, I don't.
Then why do you spew such hatred about them?
Well, I don't like what they've done. I don't like what their religion preaches. I don't like what's going on in Israel. I don't like their influence over our government. So,
What do you like about Jewish people?
I mean, I would say on average, they're more intelligent.
That's it?
I mean, I don't have too many. I mean, look, there's 2 billion Muslims, but everybody wants to, promote this anti-Muslim, this hatred for Muslim, like they're all, these terrorists. And I think the Israelis are the terrorists. I think they are the ones perpetuating the big acts of terrorism. And, nobody wants to talk about that.
And what do you say to Jewish people who may watch this and be utterly horrified by what they're hearing?
They can be horrified. I mean, I was horrified to find that they mass murdered Christians. I was horrified to learn the things that they teach in the Talmud. I was horrified that they think that Jesus is burning in shit in hell. I was horrified that they think that the Virgin Mary is a whore. I was horrified to learn that they think it's okay to steal from Gentiles. I was horrified to hear that there's, 2 sets of justice. I was horrified to find out that they think it's okay to, gang rape Palestinian prisoners. I was horrified about all those things. I'm horrified that we're funding a genocide right now. So they can be horrified.
Now, what we just saw was a catastrophic system failure for the corporate media. Let's strip away the theater and look at the raw mechanics of this interaction. Piers Morgan did not walk onto that set to conduct an interview. He walked on to perform an establishment execution. His entire job description is to act as an ideological border guard to patrol the boundaries of what you are allowed to think, what you are allowed to say, and who you are allowed to question. But his entire playbook relies on one critical assumption: that the person sitting across from him cares about their permission. The second Dan Bilzerian looked him in the eye and signaled that he was entirely willing to burn his access to the elite to state documented facts, Piers' brain experienced an absolute data wipe. Notice the exact moment the corporate firewall kicks in. When Bilzerian brings up the structural, multi-million-dollar leverage of foreign interest groups over the American state, Piers doesn't offer a counter-argument. He can't. There isn't one. Instead, he reaches for the ultimate emergency brake, the Nazi label. Understand what that label is. In legacy newsrooms, it is not a moral designation anymore. It is an algorithmic kill switch, designed to induce immediate compliance through terror. It is the tactical retreat of a media class that has lost the ability to win on the merits of the data. But legacy anchors are fighting a losing battle against gravity because the reality on the ground in 2026 has completely outpaced their talking points. Piers wants to play language games, but the numbers tell a story of unmitigated catastrophe. According to the latest FAO Global reports, 100% of the population in Gaza is currently facing crisis-level acute food insecurity, or worse. 90% have been pushed into catastrophic starvation. That is not a complicated conflict, that is an industrial-scale atrocity funded by your tax dollars, and the corporate press is paid to ensure you look away. The American public is done looking away. The dam has officially broken. Look at the latest Gallup polling. For the first time in modern history, public sympathy has decisively shattered the old consensus. Among voters aged 35 to 54, the numbers have completely flipped. Among Democrats, it is a staggering 65% to 17% in favor of Palestinians. The narrative has died in the minds of the people, leaving legacy media screaming into an empty room. This is why they panic when someone mentions the receipts. They don't want you tracking the $28 million AIPAC has poured into the current election cycle. They don't want you looking at the Senate floor, where bills to halt weapons transfers are quietly choked to death by politicians in a financial headlock. Mainstream journalism exists to protect a two-tier system of justice. They rely on you being too exhausted, too isolated, or too intimidated by their labels to speak the truth. But when a multi-millionaire playboy decides that reality is too loud to ignore, and that speaking out is worth facing extortion from his own business managers, it exposes the absolute farce of the entire corporate press. The gatekeepers have lost their keys. If you are ready to reject the sanitized, state-approved script and demand real-world data over corporate access, hit that subscribe button right now. Like this video, drop a comment below with the exact second you saw the panic in Piers' eyes. Force the algorithm to push this out. The monopoly on truth is over. Keep hunting the receipts, and I'll see you in the next one.